Senator Tim Rickey.
And you can see the numbers.
How many of us here weren't recruited by Tim Rickey? We have three. The Thomas Edison group. Tim has been blessed to do many things in his life, from being awarded Entrepreneur of the Year, performing as Elvis for 23 years, and writing several books. He was our newsletter editor, continues as webmaster, and is mentoring 12 Toastmasters. That's why we can't get any. Guess why we chose Tim as our 2009 Toastmaster of the Year? You might ask, Tim, how do you have the time? Well, this morning Tim will provide the information that he has made possible for me and you. Please welcome Tim Rickey with his speech, Do It Now.
Roy was up here, and Carson. I have to remember to call so-and-so. How many times have you said that to yourself? Stop kowtowing. And, good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Morning.
Yes?
Good morning.
Glad to see some guests here today. Do it now. How do you do it now is the question. When I started many years ago to build my businesses, I started writing these. I have about probably 300 of these pads that I take notes in every day. I put business cards in it. But the fun is, at the end of the day, or as you go through the day, you line them out as completed. So there's a feeling of accomplishment. And what you don't have, you move to the next day. Well, things have changed over the years. It wasn't too many years ago, back in the 90s, when, yes, I got myself one of these. Does anybody know what this is? This is the first PDA, personal digital assistant. It is a Apple Newton. Right? Not many people have seen these, but it was the first one. It was far too expensive. It was almost $1,000, I believe, and very expensive at the time. But it was really a cool tool, because you could take and do the things that I was doing within here, click the box and it vanished off the screen, it was done, and automatically carry to the next day. But the thing I liked about it the most, you've heard me talk about handwriting. My handwriting was so terrible, but if I wrote on that screen, it would automatically convert it into text, typewritten text. Apple still owns that technology. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but that was really cool to me, because then I could read my notes, print them out, and actually, well, like I say, actually read my own writing. That was difficult for me. Next came the Palm Pilot. And the Palm Pilot turned into a cell phone with the Palm Pilot in it. How handy is this? Same thing, checklist, to-do list, of course all your information, your contacts are in here. But there was a time when I was trying to find a friend of mine who had been an Elvis impersonator. And I knew I had talked to him, so I looked up Jack, and Jack, it's all I put in here. It went back 5 years, and there was his phone number. Could I have found that another way if I had had some kind of database? Probably the best thing was, I noticed about 5 months ago that I was having more and more problems with my feet and being extremely tired in the afternoon. So I said, I wonder if it's the Lipitor. So I went back to see when I started the Lipitor. And bingo, I looked there, and right next to it was my weight. I had also gained 20 pounds. The sore feet, being tired in the afternoon, guess what I don't take anymore? Guess who's not tired anymore? Guess whose feet don't hurt anymore? It's amazing. Stay out of this stuff, please. So if it hadn't been for that, I would have not known that that was going on. Then, through the years, I've switched phones. I wanted to get an iPhone because I had this AT&T Samsung here, which is my regular phone. But then Canon gave me one of these, and this is called a Droid. You've heard the commercials. And this one's a little more complicated than I'm used to, so it's taking me some time to learn it. But all of these tools come to be very handy things to keep you to do things now. A good example of, can I have the cards for today, please? Food cards. Something I've told anybody who's ever had membership is get these cards from the president. Don't leave the club without these, because we're going to lose contact with you guys if we don't have it. I get back to my office or home, I immediately pull up the draft of what Toastmasters mean to me, means to me. I attach two files, your icebreaker and your application, send it, welcome you to the meeting, end of story. 90% of the people join with that simple system. But I do it now, as soon as I get back. I don't wait, because I lose it if I don't do it now. And plus, it's off your mind. How many times have we gone through this thing of, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, and we don't do it. When Tony Robbins gives a lecture on goal setting, and I do the same thing in my workshops. All right, everybody, you've got a goal written out, is that right? Okay, somebody give me one of your goals if you don't mind. They give me the goal and say, now you know what I'm going to say next, and that's to do it now. Is I'm going to do it as soon as no. On there, you mentioned that you have to call somebody. Go ahead and step out in the hallway and make the call. Do it now. And it's a good example for everybody to understand that when you do it now, you have a feeling of accomplishment. You're on your way. You're going to get your goal. 90% of the goals that people write are never begun. They're written and end the story. That's it. But if you do something like do it now, what will happen to those goals? You'll achieve far greater. You may get up to 50%, but that's a lot better than 10. So that gives you an idea there. Why use something like a PDA or a list, things like this? It's a system. What makes business work are systems. McDonald's is all systems. Most successful businesses are all related to systems. So when you set yourself up and find your refined way of accomplishing using PDAs or what have you, you're going to gain more time, which gives you the time to do anything you want. I always have time because I find a systemized way of reducing the amount of time I have to spend with those things, and it enables me to do things I can do for the club as well as my business and myself. So system begins with 3 words. Can anybody tell me those 3 words?
Do it now.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.